just for an introduction on the problems that you sent me, I will send more documents related to completing the square. So I wanted to take an example from the problems that you sent yesterday, where for example 1, to solve for that equation, it's a quadratic equation, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so let me write it down here. Let me zoom it a bit, which is x squared plus 6x plus 9. Let me zoom it here. X squared plus 6x plus 9. So we are having x squared plus 6x plus 9. So we are having x squared plus 6x plus 9 is equals to 0. How do you solve this quadratic equation? That example that you are given. How do you solve this quadratic equation?
You have to.
Yes, the
Yes, sir.
brackets are. What do we do? What is it that we did before when we want to solve this quadratic equation? Whereby we want two numbers. The two numbers must give you x squared, and the two numbers must give you the middle term. If you add them, they give you 6x. If you multiply, you get positive 9. So what is the bracket going to be there? For x, remember x and x, they give you x squared.
Yes, sir.
And then 3 times 3, they give you 9. So if I'm to add in between like this, which means 2 brackets. So if I add, cross multiply, if I add those x, 3x plus 3x, I get the middle term. Then if I multiply this side, I'm going to get x squared. And then if I multiply here, I get 3 times 3, positive 9. Then when you cross multiply, x times 3, 3x. X times 3, 3x. So if you add, the middle term will give you plus 6x. That is why we are saying if you factorize this equation, it's going to give you these factors, which is x plus 3 bracket x plus 3 is equals to 0. Any question there?
No, sir.
Any question? So which means this graph, what are the solutions for this graph? What are the solutions for this graph? So which means x will be equals to minus 3. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
For both brackets, because x plus 3 equals to 0, which means x is equals to minus 3. And then now we are supposed to sketch this graph. How are you going to sketch this graph? If you are told to sketch this graph, first you must check the sign. If the number here in front, this value of a, this is the number b. So this 6 is representing b. This is your c value. So which means it's a, b, and c. So in other words, your a is 1. The coefficient of x squared is 1. B is 6. C is 9. So if you want to sketch that graph, you have an y-intercept c. When x is 0, y is what? Is c, which is 9. So if you are to sketch that graph, your graph will be like this. Is it facing up or is it facing down?
Up.
Up, because the value of the a is positive. So it will face up. So since we are having a root at negative, which means this graph, when y is 0, x is -3, which means it will cut like this. Then it goes there. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
At this point, we are having +9. And at that point, your root is just 1, which is -3. In terms of sketching, then you must indicate it's a quadratic, which means it's having that parabolic shape like that, cutting at -3. Any question there? How we did this? First, we found the roots. We said the roots of this equation. What are the roots of the equation? We found the roots of the equation to be one root. So which means this graph is cutting once. If you have two roots, which means that graph will cut twice. So let's go for an example. We check the graph that is having at least two roots from our worksheet, from those textbook examples. So that one is now here, the value is negative. It's negative. So here, since it's -x², here, which means it's facing downwards. A negative, it means the graph is facing down. The negative of the x, yes, it will be facing down. That is what you must take note. However, also the root has changed, which means now the root is now at 3. It's no longer at -3. So you must take note of example 1 and example 2. Okay, we are just solving for the first part, which is number 1. So for x, we are just solving for x. Okay, the worked example, solving for x. Then for example 2, we are seeing it's facing downwards. Are you seeing it here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's facing downwards. So the method of the completing of the square can assist you in finding that intercept without using the sketch. So for completing the square, let's take an example, or these are now vectors. Let's take an example, that method that you, all right, if you want to complete the square. So with this one, with the method of completing the square, which is here, which means our equation originally was x² plus 6x plus 9 is equals to 0. So with the method, which means now we are having a bracket, which is x minus 3 u square is equals to
X plus 3.
it was
Oh, no, sir.
supposed to be x plus 3, isn't
X
it? For
minus
us, it was,
3.
yes, it's x plus 3 squared. For us, it was x plus 3 squared. For the first one, before we deal with it, for the first one. So it was x plus
Yes,
3
sir.
squared is equals to 0, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So with the method, if you want to sketch this graph, given this function like this, if you want to sketch this graph, what you do is the graph, if there's a plus there, it means the graph has been shifted to the what? To the right or to the left?
The right.
The graph of x squared is like this. So y is equals to x squared is like this. So it has no shift. But if the graph has been shifted to the left, which means you are going to say plus 3, then you square. So here, the graph has been shifted to the left. That's why they are adding +3 under the square root sign. If there was a negative, it means it's shifted to the right. It's the opposite. So which means from here, you already... Hello?
Question. So
Hello?
why does why what makes the graph move horizontal? when it comes to our equation.
Or you mean to moving horizontally, it's left to right? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, where in the equation does it make it move left to right?
Yes, so which means in the equation, it's this one, this sign, this one, which is positive. So positive 3, it means under the square root sign. Remember, if it has not moved to the left, it's like this. It will be x plus 0. X plus 0 squared. This one has not moved, has not been shifted. That's why it's at 0. In other words, if you want to write it in that format, it will be x, y is equals to x plus 0. Everything under the bracket, what are you doing? You square. Can you see? That's why
If
the turning point is at 0. So if I want the turning point to be at minus 3, yeah, at negative 3, negative 3, which means the new equation is no longer going to be x squared. It's going to be x plus 3 squared. In other words, that is the graph of x plus 3 squared, this one.
oh yes, sir, yes, sir.
Horizontal. And then if I want to push it to the right, you say x minus 3. It will be x minus 3, then you square it. If you want to move it to the right, is equals to 1. That is the equation of the line.
Yes,
Can you
thank
see?
you, sir. Now understand. Yes, sir.
Then if you want to shift up and down, that's where you come. For example, you are having up the same graph. You want to shift it up or down. That's where you'll be playing by adding a number. For example, the original graph of x squared is like this. If I just say x squared, it's this one. But if I say x squared plus 3, which means I have shifted it up, so which means x squared plus 3, it will be now like this. Then the 3, which means you have shifted it up. So at that point, it will be 3. The turning point will be here. X squared
So,
plus
sir,
3. Yes.
if we add the brackets, that's when it moves left and right.
Yes. If you are adding in the bracket, and then that bracket, either if you say plus 3, which means you are moving to the left, it's always the opposite. It does not mean plus 3, we are moving to the right. No. Plus 3 to the left. Then if it's minus 3, then you know you are moving to the right. This one, it will be moving to the right, minus. It's always the vice versa.
Yes,
Any
sir.
question? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Then the number that you are going to add, which is not in the bracket, is the one that is up or what?
Down.
Up or down. Okay. So I will send the questions whereby you'll be answering where you are going to be plotting those graphs to just check if you understood that. To just check if you are
Yes,
able
sir.
to quadratic. So I'll give you a few problems on WhatsApp, then you work on them just to see if you have mastered. We're only focusing on plotting. We have not started about completing the square. When you are given a quadratic, are you able to sketch that graph? That is what we are doing today, just to sketch.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's have a break and then we start at 5 past for physical science.
Yes, sir.
All right.